I'm going to show you guys a new way to make money on PulseChain, but first, I'm going to be straight up with you about the risks involved. What I'm about to show you is an automated bot strategy that you can join in on any number of PulseChain liquidity pairs. It's called LPX. The website is lpx.plusx.app. But first, you have to understand a couple of things. Number one is never put all your eggs in one basket. This goes with everything. Use a separate wallet for stuff like this. Call it a degen wallet, a condom wallet, whatever you want to call it. You should always have a cold storage, big bag of funds that just sit there and do nothing. That's the long-term hold strategy. But if you want to make some yield on this cool new thing, what it is, it's a trading bot, basically, that you can put some money into, and it buys low and it sells high. And it's kind of like a way to add to a liquidity pool without actually adding on-chain liquidity. Now, the one thing, before we go any farther, you have to understand this. This is a not verified contract. This is a proprietary trading algorithm that's managed by smart contracts by the UP token team. So yes, there's trust involved. This is not trustless. Most of the stuff I talk about is no middleman, audited. This stuff, it's been looked at by a lot of developers. They've been good developers. It's been working for a long time, but that's all I can say is that you're involving your trust in other people building good software. It's not like this thing can't get hacked. Okay, so imagine this went down to zero tomorrow. That would be your responsibility, your personal fault for doing it. Now, I'm in this too because I'm taking the risk, and I think it's cool enough to be worth showing you guys. So now that we got that disclaimer out of the way, I want to talk about the PlusX team. They've already built a lot of other cool stuff like liquid staking. They built automated liquid staking bots that take your yield from the Pulse staking, and they can automatically route it to buying and burning a coin. Pretty cool innovation there. They've also got smart vaults, which are basically automations for liquid loans, like the liquid loans haunted strategy, but just basically automated. Now, this would be very interesting when Pulse starts going up a lot, but it's a pretty cool way to automatically manage your vault on the liquid loan strategy if you're interested in that. But I'm not talking about either of those two things. I'm talking about the new thing that they built, which is LPX. Now, you want to read the documentation typically before anything else. But since people don't like to read, I'm going to read it for you. Basically, what you have is passive and active liquidity. So when you add liquidity to a pool like on PulseX, that's passive. This is called active liquidity because it's putting your coins to work. You put in a little bit of DAI stablecoin on one side, and the other side, the majority of the weight is in any one of the tokens on the pairs. Now, you saw the pairs earlier. The pairs that are available for you to put into are all of the core coins, Pulse, PulseX, Hex, INC token, even eHex Hex or Hex eHex, bunch of meme coins. Now, Top Hat, obviously I got to shout out Top Hat because this has been doing very well over the past 80% rise in the past few days. Top Hat went up 80%, and this bot was very profitable, and it actually does push the price up. Believe it or not, it creates somewhat net positive buy pressure because it buys low, sells high, and it sets what's called a no trade zone where it does not trade if the price is running up. It lets the price run up before it does these tiny little buys and sells. And because the sells get gradually higher, it supports the price while minimizing impermanent loss for you. Now, I had this running on the WPLS DAI pair as well, and I can confirm that when the price of Pulse dropped, it dropped about 40% since when I put in at, I actually did minimize my impermanent loss. I had more Pulse and more DAI than I would have had if I had been in the Pulse DAI, symmetric liquidity pool on PulseX.com. So this did minimize my impermanent loss from experience. So I do feel good about saying that. And it's a very interesting way to support your token with basically off-DEX liquidity. So all the liquidity that you're adding is managed by a smart contract, and it just makes these little buys and sells when the algorithm, this trading bot algorithm, recognizes that it's a good time to do so. And there's a small little gap called the no trade zone where if the price is going up or down, it will wait until the price crosses a certain threshold in order to execute. For example, the no trade zone on the Top Hat DAI pair is 2.34%. So that means that the LPX bot is waiting for price volatility until it goes above or below the no trade zones to buy and sell, and then ratchet up slowly over time. Now, these all start out at single-sided, meaning they start out by just putting the altcoin on one side, and gradually it accumulates DAI through both the regular profit of buying and selling, and also it does some arbitrage in the background. So you get DAI profits from two mechanisms. Again, these are not on-chain, like the contracts are not verified. You can't look at the code. I wish you could, but it's proprietary, probably for a reason, right? You don't want people copy trading and then defeating the purpose of your strategy. And this works for now. Now, what you can do is you can actually track the addresses, and there's a list of all the active bot addresses that do all the trading. And this is the Top Hat price chart on the hourly since September of 2025. So it did go up 80%, and you could see the bot trading here going in and out with the volatility. So when prices get volatile, the bot executes and it buys and sells just like you can see. And you can copy and paste any one of these addresses because they share them all publicly in the documentation. So if you want to look at tracking LPX, click here and it'll show you the different makers on some of the major pairs. And you can copy and paste these addresses to any pair and you could see how they're running. So you could see the result of what they're doing. You just can't see how they're doing it. Now, of course, they've got a bunch of disclaimers here like, hey, this could all break and go to zero. But you're going to leave this video learning something that you didn't know about before. Now, again, I've got maybe 1% of my portfolio in this strategy. Very small amount, because anything could happen. That disclaimer is there for a reason too. But you can get yield for any token. You could utilize tokens just sitting there, idle. A lot of people have coins just sitting around in a hot wallet, not making any yield for them. And you can also make money on those arbitrage opportunities. So not only is it buying low, selling high all the time in automated ways to capture volatility, but it's trading in between pools and making gains from arbitrage as well. So it also helps you set and forget with the LPX manager. For example, if today I wanted to put in $1,000 of Top Hat token on one side, $1,000 of Top Hat token I think is like 666,000. I'd have to put up about a quarter of that USD value on the other side too. So it starts off at the beginning where you only put in one side and you don't need to put in anything on the other side. But because this bot strategy is already in progress, you just need to meet it where it's already at. So because it's already been trading for a while and accumulating and, gradually pushing the price up, in addition to the fact that Top Hat's liquidity bonded to Peacock token, that's a whole another reason why that the price is pumping. But if you wanted to join the strategy, you'd have to put up, if you wanted to put up $1,000 of Top Hat token on one side, you'd have to put up about 250, about a quarter of that value on the other side. And this is different for every pair. For example, on the Pulse DAI pair, let's say I wanted to put up 100 million. 100 million tokens is about what, $3,000 on one side. I'd have to put up about $300 on the other side. And this is a very low amount, right? This is like 1% of the Pulse value because the price of Pulse is so near its all-time low. It's so near when the LPX strategy started. So the lower the coin is, the less DAI you have to put up on one side. And by the way, guys, you will make about 15% APY. This goes up, obviously, when the price of Pulse goes up. For PulseX, the numbers are at about 16.5% APY. For Hex, the numbers are highest out of any of the core coins at 23%. And let's see what they're at for INC token. Again, 15%. These numbers rise when the USD price of the coins rise. Now, for all these meme coins down here that they added, Most token, Top Hat token, they don't have an APR set yet. But I can tell you, from my experience, this has been it's been in the high double-digit percentages. I don't know exactly, but it's definitely been a double-digit percentage. And I'm happy with it because I had these tokens. And you could do that again with whatever meme coin you're into. I wish they had Peacock on here. Maybe they'll add new pairs. And when they launch these pairs, they basically launch with an initial single-side liquidity of the token itself paired to DAI. And over time, it accumulates DAI and it reinvests that DAI back to buying and selling outside of the no trade zone. And again, for those arbitrage opportunities on the side. Now, the more liquidity there is in LPX, the more it's actually beneficial for the price. They did some statistical modeling when there's about 3 times the liquidity in LPX that there is in the primary liquidity pool. So on PulseX, for example, let's say there's $100,000 of liquidity in Top Hat, $100,000 of PLS liquidity. Well, if you put up $300,000 into LPX total, the more LP that the LPX bot accumulates at about a 3-to-1 ratio is when it becomes really optimum. Right now, I think the Top Hat is like at a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, the core coins are a little bigger as well, but the more liquidity, apparently, the better it works. And the liquidity is crowdsourced. You manage your own deposits. You can withdraw at any time. So you deposit down here, right, in the add liquidity, you add one side and it'll automatically calculate how much of the other coin you have to add. So you have to have both Pulse and DAI to join this. You click deposit, then you start earning yield from, again, both of those sources. You earn yield from the maker profit, you earn yield from the arbitrage profit, and again, you could take it out at any time. You could take out any amount of liquidity that you want. You maintain the access, the ability to get your own coins back. So positive feedback loop, minimizing red candles, pump and dump protection, because it waits to buy. It decouples from liquidity webs because it does stablecoin pairing. So most things are tied to Pulse. Some coins have these crazy House of Cards liquidity webs. This detaches from all that because it uses DAI as the anchor. You could use Pulse as the anchor token if you wanted to use Pulse as what's called the anchor token, but most people aren't doing that because it's more beneficial to just inject dollars when it's useful and sell dollars. Now, when you have a position open, you do get a tokenized version of the LPX, basically receipt token, similar to an LP token on a regular DEX. And you can burn that LP token and get your money back, like I said, at any time. Now, this is not foolproof, but it's been working for long enough, and it's been having positive results for long enough that I feel okay talking about it. It has created a ratcheting flywheel effect, which I was skeptical of. I was like, how does this actually help, the price? Well, on the way that coins go up, like we just saw with Top Hat's 80% rise, it definitely didn't hurt the price there. And if you do want to track the LPX itself, again, you can't look at the smart contracts. I wish you could, but it's proprietary. If you want to track what these coins do, you can go hop over here to the documentation and you could see all of these maker addresses are the bots that are at work putting your idle tokens to work. So let's say we want to track this for like PulseX DAI. Okay, here you could see the bot and how it's buying and selling all the time on the main PulseX Pulse pair. So if you want to add more liquidity, as you add more liquidity to either of these pairs, whichever one you choose, the strategy becomes more useful and it executes more often because it has more money to work with. Just a little trick, if you're looking for crypto automation trading bots, this is basically a crowdsourced, public, available bot that works, that the team made out of actual kindness. You know, they could have just been taking this for themselves. They could just be using this for themselves. I'm sure they have been for a long time in the past. But because they've got it to a point where it's reliable, they've released it to the public. And this team is known for just making tokens. Like the whole point of the UP and the UPX token, right, is just to go up. And obviously that's the purpose of every token. But all of the automation tools that these guys build, they all feed back into trying to basically pump their UP token. That's why they say UP is like leverage on Pulse. It actually is. This is a team of very smart, academic, like really hardcore crypto tech guys. Not a whole lot of marketing type guys, which is why I'm making this video, because I feel like I need to tell people what they're building. It's worth keeping an eye on. Again, not trustless, but it's fascinating. Me as a crypto nerd, I love looking at this kind of stuff. I love automations and I love passive income. So this is a very cool protocol. And you can check out their ValidatorX strategy over here too. I should give a quick mention to ValidatorX. You can do liquid staking here. And the really cool thing is that you can set up a VSX strategy if you click this button right here. So imagine being able to stake your Pulse, but then also be able to harvest the yield that you're getting. And you could even have the yield go to a swap path, right? Look right here where the swap path is. And you can have, for example, if somebody wanted to pump their own token, perhaps you might see this with Top Hat soon, just for fun, just for shits and giggles. What if you had a bunch of validators that all the profit they make just went to buying and burning a coin? It's very simple to do that. Anyone can do that here. Again, these contracts are also not public, but they do work. I've used them for quite a while. It is a risk, but hey, there's a free idea for you guys to pump your little meme coins out there. Use PulseChain validators to buy and burn. I think Vouch is doing this or something similar. And then you can do this yourself with the ValidatorX strategy. So look, you can earn 10.5% APY on average from your PLS from the liquid staking protocol, not have to learn about running it yourself. And you could harvest that yield to swap and then burn. You could say use burn, and you could take those coins out of circulation. I'm giving you guys free narratives over here. Secret sauce. Again, you accept all the risk, but check out PlusX.app. This is vx.plusx.app. The last thing I was talking about is LPX.plusx.app. Links in the description below. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And now you know some secret methods about how to make money on PulseChain. And by the way, if you want some tech support, talk to me one-on-one. If you want to talk strategy, anything at all, crypto related. If you need help, I'm available at Crypto Coffee on X. Make sure you subscribe to me over there. If you press that subscribe button, you're going to get one-on-one access, or we could chat with the whole group. A lot of people have problems or issues or just general strategy questions they want to ask. So if you want my attention, I'm more than happy to respond to any questions you might have if you subscribe on my X channel. See you on the next one.